them to buy oil. And the sanctions that they're putting on are not tough enough.
I think the president, though, the good news is waking up to the fact that Putin is not negotiating in good faith, not making concessions, and has to be dealt with.
While the West tries to bankrupt Russia with sanctions, a single crumbling apartment in Mumbai is quietly making the US dollar irrelevant. Inside that room is a single piece of paper. It belongs to a company you have never heard of. It has no offices, no staff, just one owner. But on paper, it controls a fleet of million-dollar tankers that officially don't exist. These ships vanish from global maps, reappear under new identities, and keep moving billions worth of Russian LNG across borders. They aren't just transporting energy. They are quietly building a parallel system no one can regulate, sanction, or shut down. On the surface, it looks like nothing special. But this single document hides an entire industrial machine. You pull the registry and find a single owner tied to a residential address. Then you cross-check satellite tracks and shipping logs, and something feels entirely off. A tanker called the Pioneer shows false coordinates, masking its true location. Another ship, the Special Energy, simply vanishes from all public maps. But this is where it stopped making sense. A tiny paper firm is directly connected to multi-million-dollar vessels. This isn't a real company. It's a mask. Behind it, a massive hidden mechanism is quietly operating. If this company disappears tomorrow, the ships don't stop. They just change names. India thought its energy was secure. It had a permanent deal with Russia. But in 2022, that deal wasn't broken. It was taken. A European state took control of the managing subsidiary. They rebranded it as SEFE and weaponized the entire supply chain. 30 contracted cargoes suddenly disappeared from India's schedule. India realized it had zero control over its own energy survival. European politicians were now dictating how India powered its cities. Cooking gas was rationed and domestic supply collapsed. Factories shut down and families faced crippling price spikes.
4-5 दिन हो गए चक्कर लगा रहे हैं।
इसलिए हमारे घर में खत्म है, इसलिए हम आज ही हैं।
सिलेंडर नहीं दे रहे ये लोग।
अब हमारे बच्चे कैसे खाना खाएंगे, हम कैसे करेंगे?
लेने आया हूँ तो कह रहे 2 दिन बाद मिलेगा, घर पे आ जाएगा।
जहाँ की सप्लाई है वहाँ दी जाएगी।
India was entirely paralyzed by a European geopolitical theater. The supply chain wasn't just fragile anymore. It had become a weapon. Domestic gas reserves couldn't fill the sudden void. India urgently needed fuel that could cross oceans. That meant securing massive volumes of frozen LNG. And the only viable supplier left was Russia. New Delhi didn't just want a new energy partner. They were absolutely forced to build an untouchable system. But India wasn't just a passive victim in the story. Years earlier, the United States applied immense diplomatic pressure. They pushed India to completely halt imports from Iran and Venezuela. India didn't just comply. It aggressively pivoted toward American energy deals. At a massive Texas rally, negotiations began for a long-term US LNG agreement. From Moscow's perspective, this wasn't standard diplomacy. It was pure betrayal.
Unlike its neighbors, India imports 90% of its oil, most of it coming through the Strait of Hormuz. The war in Iran has already thrown the country into crisis over mounting shortages of cooking gas. That's putting the government in a sticky situation as it tries to push for an end to the war while also pursuing a trade deal with the US.
India had abandoned traditional energy for American promises. Then, the European seizure of SEFE completely betrayed India. That is exactly when the partnership began to deeply fracture. The old pipeline cracked, the gears seized, and fundamental trust collapsed. Both sides suddenly reached the exact same strategic conclusion. The Western-controlled global system simply couldn't be trusted anymore. So instead of trying to repair the broken machine, they replaced it. Now, the new machine reveals itself, operating entirely in the shadows. It starts in the frozen waters of the Russian Arctic. Specialized Arc-7 carriers cut through thick ice to transport Russian LNG. But there is a critical flaw. There simply aren't enough of them. To solve this, a highly dangerous relay system rapidly emerges. In the Barents Sea, ships execute unprecedented mid-sea cargo transfers. They offload Arctic LNG onto disposable conventional shallow tankers. But this isn't just a desperate workaround. It's a fully functional parallel machine. Once loaded, a new mechanism activates complete and total invisibility. These tankers deliberately turn off their automatic transponders. They exist in a dark space where global tracking systems fail. But ghost ships still need legal paperwork to safely dock. This is where those small Mumbai shell companies suddenly reappear. They act as disposable legal shields, absorbing all regulatory risk. If one gets sanctioned, it instantly liquidates and another takes its place. Then, the final gear turns, locking the system firmly together. Payments completely bypass the US dollar and Western banks. Money flows securely through Special Rupee Vostro Accounts instead. Russia gets paid, but the currency remains heavily restricted. Those funds are locked entirely into Indian government bonds. The LNG flows out of Russia, but the capital stays controlled inside India. In early 2026, the global energy market violently shattered. The Middle East destabilized, severely threatening the Strait of Hormuz. Suddenly, 20% of global LNG was at immediate existential risk. India urgently moved to restart direct Russian LNG imports. They even asked the United States for a formal sanction waiver.
Relief India has received a temporary boost to its crucial and critical energy supplies after the United States granted a short-term waiver allowing Indian refiners to purchase Russian oil.
But this is where the system reveals its real structural advantage. India didn't actually need Western permission to act. The parallel machine was already perfectly engineered and firmly in place. This is not a temporary, desperate backup system. This system decides exactly where global LNG flows. By reintroducing discounted Russian LNG, India violently distorts regional pricing. Allied nations following the rules are forced to absorb massive financial damage. This system decides who pays more and who never has to. India gains a permanent, untouchable industrial cost advantage. This shadow system doesn't just bypass the established global order. It doesn't break the system. It makes it useless. Return to that modest apartment building in central Mumbai. That faded door isn't just an address. It is where the paperwork exists and nowhere else. And if the paperwork exists here, the system exists everywhere. It isn't just a local corporate address. It is a heavily protected control node. A small quiet entry point into a massive untouchable machine. You cannot sanction, regulate, or stop a system that doesn't officially exist. A global financial system doesn't die when it breaks. It dies when it becomes permanently irrelevant. This is Akshat, signing off.